Friends, welcome to second video on preamble. In the first video, I have covered half of the chapter. Here, after recapitulating, I'm going to finish this video. It will be a complete video on preamble. So, what is preamble? Basically, it is a document which is included in the beginning of the Constitution, and it actually includes the ideals and the objectives that is mentioned in the Constitution, or that Constitution is to achieve. It is also very important for all the readers to understand the whole Constitution, as it is known as the soul of the Constitution, mirror of the Constitution, as well as key to the Constitution. So let us do it in detail. This is preamble in written form, right? We have done all. Right, now introduction. Preamble is included in the beginning of the Constitution, in the same way as introduction is included in the beginning of a topic or a book. Preamble includes the ideals and the objectives of the Constitution. It is sort of declaration letter or declaratory document. It is known by different names such as soul of the Constitution, mirror of the Constitution, key of the Constitution, identity card of the Constitution. It tells the main motives of the writing of the Constitution, for whom it has been written, and on which date it has been completed and implemented. So, this is a basic introduction you should have in your mind, right? Next is preamble, a historical background. If we talk about the historical background of the preamble, first ever written constitution is US Constitution. US Constitution, and it includes preamble also, right? And since then it has become a tradition to include preamble in the beginning of the Constitution. So when our Constitution was being framed, preamble was included. Preamble of the Indian Constitution tells the ideals and the objectives of the Constitution. What is preamble? Again, if the question is asked what is preamble, you will say preamble is the letter of declaration. It is written or included in the beginning of the Constitution, and it is basically placed before the articles in the beginning, and it tells the ideas and the objectives of the Constitution. And this is most important in understanding the true sense of the Constitution. This is text of the Constitution. I have read the text in full, and words are very important that I have included in it: sovereign, socialist, democratic republic, justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, and then date of adoption and enactment, right? So let us do. These are the keywords I have already explained: sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity in the previous video, right? So if it need not to be explained here, if you want me to explain these words separately, I will make separate video, but you will have to comment for that, right? Main feature of the Constitution. If you talk about the main feature of the Constitution has four main features. Number one is source of the constitutional authority. What is the source of the Indian Constitution or authority of the Indian Constitution? The nature of the state and objectives of the states and date of the adoption. If it is asked in 1 marks question, then you can write these 4 points. Otherwise, when it is asked in 4 points, you will have to explain it. So let us do it in detail. Authority or source of the Indian Constitution. This is the first point, right? First point, number one, authority or source of the constitutional authority. So who is the source? We the people of India. So in the very first line it asks the source of the Indian constitutional authority, or the source of the constitutional authority of India, right? So do hereby adopt, enact and give ourselves this constitution. तो लोग सोर्स है, वही अडेप्ट कर रहे हैं, वही एनेक्ट कर रहे हैं और अपने आप को कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन दे रहे हैं. सो सॉवरेनिटी it means lies ultimately with the people and the framer of the constitution were the representative as they were indirectly chosen by different princely states and the provinces. So the will of the people is the basis of the constitution. So hopefully the first point is clear, but it has been criticized on several grounds, as right, they say that members were not elected on the basis of adult franchises. Number one criticism is this. Number two is that they say that people say that referendum or plebiscite, any of this tool of direct democracy was not used. So neither a referendum was done nor plebiscite, right? So on these ground it has been criticized. But if we talk about the election, next election was held. The first election, so in the very first elections, all those members who were the member of Constituent Assembly were elected. So this criticism is not justified, as all those members were selected who had participated or who were the member of Constituent Assembly. So people never asked. And the second point about referendum or plebiscite, people never asked for the referendum as they accepted it, right? This proves that people have faith in the constitution. So this criticism doesn't stand. So source of constitutional authority is people of India, with the people. Now second point is the nature of the state. Nature of the state, we the people of India have solemnly resolved, हमने पूरे निश्चय और पवित्र मन से ये निश्चय किया कि हम क्या इंडिया को कैसा बनाएंगे. विल कॉन्स्टिट्यूट इंडिया इनटू अ सॉवरन सोशलिस्ट सेकुलर डेमोक्रेटिक रिपब्लिक. हम ऐसा देश बनाएंगे जो सॉवरन है, सोशलिस्ट भी है, सेकुलर भी है, डेमोक्रेटिक भी है और रिपब्लिक भी है, राइट? तो ये नेचर ऑफ इंडियन स्टेट होगा. और लेट अस डू इट इन डिटेल दीज पॉइंट्स. इंडिया इज अ सॉवरन स्टेट. इसका मतलब क्या है? व्हाट डज इट मीन? इट मीन्स टोटली free. India is totally free from internal as well as external control. So India is a socialist state, okay, and this word was added with 42nd amendment. ये 44th लिखा हुआ 42nd amendment है in 1976. Socialist state का मतलब होता है there is no unequal distribution of wealth and society is free from exploitation. People get sufficient means of livelihood and production and means of production are under public control. People are provided social security in case of old age, sickness and unemployment. So such country where these facilities are available is known as socialist country. So we are not fully socialist though, but we have socialist features and we do all these work for the people of India, right? Let's move to the next point. India is a secular state. This word was also added during the 42nd amendment, right? And India was secular state even before that, as we have article 25-28 as fundamental right, religious freedom. And as per this, we have religious freedom that's granted inception, right? Inceptions of the constitution, right? Since the inception of the constitution, the beginning of the constitution. So people belonging to different religions are free to establish and manage religious institutions. Religious education is prohibited in the government run or aided institutions. So all these represents that people have religious freedom. So India is a secular state. Now India is a democratic state. It means power, authority, sovereignty is not vested in the hands of the single group or group of people. It is vested in the hands of all people at large, and source of authority is people. So it is a democratic country. People by electing responsible representative on the basis of universal franchise, control the activities of the state. So, judiciary is independent, free, independent, impartial elections are held for the same fundamental rights, right? For the same and fundamental rights we have been given. There is a directive principle of state policy, right? Political democracy, social democracy, and economic democracy there is in India. So we say that India is a democratic country. India is a republic. It means state in which supreme power vests in people, right? In republic, people elect their representative. It is opposed to authoritative government, or one governed by the king or the ruler. So in republic, the head of the states government are chosen by, and government are chosen by people directly or indirectly. So India is a republic. Now, objective of the Indian Constitution. Indian Constitution have different objective, that is social justice, abolition of all types of discrimination on the basis of caste, color, sex, place of birth, religion, right? So this lead to social justice. All are equal socially. Then economic justice, equal and adequate means of livelihood and of all kind of exploitations, and adequate arrangement to be made for the implementation of practical principles of state policy, so that economically people may be self-sufficient. Then we have political justice also. Political justice means Constitution has made adequate arrangement for this without any discrimination. That is, right to vote to all, right to contest election, right to hold public office, right to criticize the government, right to information, and right to equality before law. This is political justice, right? Liberty of thought, Article 19, liberty of expression, liberty of belief and faith, right? And liberty of worship, Article 25, 28. So these help people in getting liberty, and all people have this kind of liberty. Then equality of status, it is equality before law. Then Article 50 says no discrimination against citizens on the ground of religion, sex, color, caste, creed, race, etc. And then equality of opportunity. So equality for all. This. Then we have here there is abolition of untouchability also, and abolition of all kind of titles also. Equality of opportunity is also there at Article 16 to all citizens, right? In the matter of employment, right, office under the state. So people have equality of opportunities also. Then fraternity. Preamble promotes fraternity among people. Fraternity मतलब भ्रातृ भाव. It tells us to rise above the narrow feelings of communalism. धार्मिक भावनाओं से ऊपर उठने की बात करता है, भाषाओं से ऊपर, लिंगुअलिज्म एंड रीजनलिज्म यानी क्षेत्रवाद से ऊपर उठने की बात करता है, प्रोविंशियलिज्म ऑल्सो इससे भी ऊपर, रेशियलिज्म से भी ऊपर, एंड कास्टिज्म, इन सब चीज़ों से ऊपर उठने की बात फ्रेटर्निटी कहता है. और वी द इंडियन आर brothers and sisters. It promotes fraternity among us all. Then dignity of individual की बात की गई है preamble में. Preamble assures the dignity of the individual and it help people shed inferiority complex, and it wants people to live life with head held high. सिर को ऊंचा रख के गर्व के साथ जीने के लिए प्रेरित करता है हमें. Unity and integrity of the nation. India remained slave because of disunity. We were not united, so it remained slave. Efforts has been made to maintain unity and integrity of the nation, ताकि ये सब ideals इसलिए include किए गए हैं ताकि we may remain united and fight any challenges if it comes to us. Now, date of the adoption of the Constitution. This is the fourth characteristics of of the preamble. It tells when it was adopted and enacted in our Constituent Assembly this 26th November 94, यानी कि 26 नवंबर 1949 को इसको अडॉप्ट किया गया, एनेक्ट किया गया. अडॉप्ट एंड एनेक्ट, इम्प्लीमेंट 26 जनवरी 1950 को किया गया. कीप इन माइंड. So the Constitution was adopted on November 26, 1949, and the constitution was enforced on January, right? Enforcement or implemented. This is the some of the part were implemented on 26 November, keep in mind, but fully enforced, it was fully enforced on 26 January. Let's move further. Criticism of the preamble. So preamble has been criticized on different grounds also. First, on the ground of wrong use of the word "we the people of India." Right. So according to the critics, this word that has been used in the beginning of the preamble, "we the people of India," is wrongly used, and it is misleading because the representative, those who made the constitution were not representative of the people, right? They were not directly elected, right? And they say it was neither referendum nor plebiscite were done for this purpose. So this is one ground of the criticism, right? Second ground is preamble is not part of the constitution. But wrong use of the word "we the people of India," I would rather here say that people never demanded plebiscite or referendum, on it, as they think that this constitution is good for them, and otherwise too, those who made framed the constitution, they were elected in the first general election held in 1952. So from that point of view, this criticism doesn't apply. Then preamble is not the part of the constitution, right? So it is one of the ground of the criticism. It was actually in the case of Berubari case. Basically, Supreme Court of India said the preamble was not the part of the constitution, right? So it has, as per that, it has no legal importance. But in Kesavananda Bharati case, preamble was accepted the part of the constitution by Supreme Court. So this also doesn't, this criticism also doesn't apply. Right? Preamble is not justiciable. If we talk about non-justiciable of preamble, right, and it means we cannot go to courts for its implementation, right? But it is true that preamble is not justiciable, but the principle that is included in the in this preamble actually are a guide for the courts as well as for the governments too. So it is a very important part. So this criticism also is not justiciable, right? So this point is okay. Now, note better than pious wishes. Yeah, that's right. These are pious wishes, but saying that not better than pious wishes is wrong, because governments has tried to made arrangements for secular states. Government has also tried to make India as a sovereign socialist secular democratic republic and doing welfare work also for the people. So this is not pious wishes only. Then vague language of preamble. People say that word like socialism, secularism, these have been used in vain, and it may lead to misleading interpretations, right? But these words are basically mirror for the constitutional interpretations, and it paves way for good interpretation by the courts. So these criticisms are not justiciable, though we can take this constitution, right? So these are the five criticism, right? Wrong use of the words "we the people of India," preamble is not part of the constitution, and the preamble is not justiciable, not better than pious wishes, and vague language of preamble. Let's move further. Importance of preamble. Preamble is very important. It has significance in the eyes of the court as well as the jurist as well as those who are intellectuals and scholars in the field of constitutional study. So according to Thakur Das Bhargava, the preamble is the most precious part of the constitution. It is the soul of the constitution. Soul of the constitution. Right. According to Thakur Das Bhargava. It is the key of the constitution. It is the jewel of the constitution. So these are the words very important, sometimes asked in 1 marks question. Symbol of the constitutional objectives. These represent the objectives and ideals of the constitution. Then it is guide to the courts. Courts gets, there is no legal force behind the preamble, yet court accepts those cherished ideals included in the preamble, right, in giving judgments and giving direction advice to the governments. Then we have it helps court in the interpretation of the different articles of the constitution as well, and the judges are bound to keep in mind the objectives of the constitution mentioned in the preamble. So key to the constitution. J.C. Jory says that it is key to the constitution, and it is guideline for the governments also, and yardstick to evaluate the work of the government. ये पैमाना है नापने का कि सरकार किस दिशा में काम कर रही है और सही दिशा में काम कर रही है कि नहीं कर रही. Yardstick to the evaluation. All the articles, total 395 there are in our constitution, though now with sub articles we have around 400 articles in the constitution, have to be measured with the yardsticks of preamble. सभी आर्टिकल्स को इस यार्डस्टिक से, इस पैमाने से देखा जाएगा. कौन से पैमाने से? प्रियम्बल के पैमाने से, प्रियम्बल के प्रिज्म से देखा जाएगा कि they are whether achieving those objectives and ideas that has been included in the preamble or not. So provisions which stand the test of the preamble are good. Provisions which doesn't stand the test of the preamble are not good and should be taken worthless. Right? तो इस तरह से ये important है. Now preamble is not only empty promises, fundamental rights, directive principle of state policy, witness proof, and government tries to implement even fundamental rights in different laws. Preamble is the crown of the constitution. See the importance of it. In a nutshell, we can say that though preamble is not the part of the constitution, it is still the crown of the constitution. पार्ट ना होते हुए कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का, चाहे कभी सुप्रीम कोर्ट इसको एक्सेप्ट करती है, पार्ट कभी नहीं करती है, बट केशवानंद भारती केस में इसको एक्सेप्ट किया गया है, राइट. स्टिल क्राउन ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एज इट रिप्रेजेंट्स द एम्स एंड आइडियल्स दैट द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हैज़ टू अचीव. सो क्राउन इज नॉट द पार्ट, is not part of the body of the king. As the crown is not the part of the body of the king, still it is worn on the head and is more important than the king himself, as the crown is the symbol of objectives, the faith and the ideals to be achieved. Same way, the preamble is the ideals and the objectives that Constitution want to achieve. It is interpretation by MD Ala, by me, right? So let's move further. Thank you. Best of luck. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy, stay motivated, right? See you in the next video. Till then, bye bye, take care.